to the problem. I think there's also a very interesting point about indoor pollution. Partha Basu, do you want to take that on? You know, something that not very many people really talk about, but is a problem very intrinsic to India, which is indoor pollution.
Absolutely. So, Rishika, actually, a large amount of people, number of people actually lose their lives because of indoor air pollution. Actually,
Yes.
it is supposed to be 7 times more a bigger problem than ambient. India, with its Ujjwala Yojana programs and such kind of schemes, has started reducing. So, if we look at India as a whole and not urban and rural, then I think programs such as these are actually making LPG or such kind of cleaner fuels available to a larger extent. There is a lot of research that is going on with CSIRs who are looking at cleaner chulhas. I think what is very important is also a bit of personal knowledge, in the sense, like, are we living in a ventilated atmosphere? Are our kitchens ventilated? Do we have that kind of system where the smoke generated or
Yes.
the CO2 generated is already escaping out? I think these things are very important. You see, Dr. Nangia talked about women, and one of the factors that I could think associated with women is also to the kind of things that our mothers and sisters are doing at home, and that is cooking and taking care of the households, and which is actually causing a massive exposure to PM 2.5 levels and as well as some of the gases.
Right. Dr. Nangia, do you very briefly want to address this indoor pollution question? Because I think that, you know, while of course we continue to talk about air pollution and we have a lot of statistics and a lot of data that we're analyzing here on the show, I think this is another very important issue that often gets sidelined.
Absolutely, Rishika. I would fully agree with you. You know, what is happening is that we attribute the indoor air pollution only to the kitchen smoke, but that is not true actually. Even pets contribute significantly to allergies and development of asthmas and those kind of problems.
Right.
Apart from that, lighting of incense, that is agarbattis, carrying out havans. You know, traditionally, if you see, havans always used to be carried out in courtyards. But now, whenever there's an auspicious day, you're having a housewarming ceremony, you're having some other kind of mundan or some other family function.
Yes.
You havan indoors these days.
Flats now.
Then there's a tendency of carrying that havan kund to each room also to purify. What we're not realizing is that we're actually harming ourselves by
Well, I think-
spreading all over
Yes.
the house.
And I think this is very important, especially for those individuals who have vulnerable people living in the house. If you have small children or somebody who's susceptible to, pulmonary disease, I think this is a really important perspective that Dr. Nangia is giving. An unpopular opinion, I must say, Dr. Nangia, but one that should be heard anyway. Like I said, this is a very important report. It's once again put air pollution back in the news, back in focus, and one sincerely hopes that there will be action plans that are better implemented, at least in terms of the existing action plans, and legislation that takes this into consideration, just like the audience members raised several questions about the new forest laws. I'm afraid we're completely out of time. It's been a fascinating conversation. Thank you all very much, including to the audience, for joining us on this edition of We the People.